Have you ever just looked at someone and wondered, how do they command respect so effortlessly, while other people, maybe even us sometimes, really struggle to get it? Well, it's a deep question, and it has everything to do with psychology. So today, we're going to break down exactly what makes people lose respect for you. And spoiler alert, it has almost nothing to do with how important your job title is. Okay, let's just get right to it with a really direct question. Why don't people respect you? Now, I know that might sting a little, but it's the exact question we have to ask. Because a lot of the time, the reasons are totally invisible to us, but they're glaringly obvious to everyone else.
And this is where most of us get it wrong. We're taught this myth that respect just comes with the corner office, or the fancy title, or your social status. But the reality, and what all the psychology points to, is that real, genuine respect, that comes from your attitude. It's about how you show up and treat people, day in and day out. When you really dig into it, you find that these behaviors that kill respect, they usually grow from one of two toxic mindsets. First, you've got the victim mindset, where everything bad is always happening to you. And second, there's that overpowering need to always be right, which just shuts down every conversation. Let's see how these turn into attitudes that push people away.
Okay, first up, let's talk about the attitude that instantly makes people put up a wall. The know-it-all. This is that person who just has to be right no matter what.
Now, there's a fascinating psychological reason for this. It's called the Dunning-Kruger effect. It's this weird cognitive bias where the people who know the least about something are the most confident that they're experts. This is what fuels that "I already know that" response that just stops a productive conversation in its tracks.
And here's the real impact. When you act like you already know everything, people don't think, wow, that person is a genius. Nope, they think this person isn't willing to listen or learn. It doesn't signal intelligence at all. It just signals a closed mind. And nobody, truly nobody, respects a mind that isn't open. All right, moving on to our second respect killer. This one is the total opposite of inspiring or proactive. We're talking about the constant complainer. So why is being around a complainer so draining? Well, psychology calls it emotional contagion. Your negativity is, and I mean this literally, contagious. It spreads like a virus through a team or a friend group, sucking the energy right out of the room. You become the source of exhaustion, not inspiration. At the end of the day, complaining just to complain doesn't fix a single thing. It's just broadcasting negativity into the world. It tells everyone that you're more interested in pointing out problems than being part of the solution. And after a while, people they learn to tune you out.
Okay, our third attitude. This one might actually surprise you, because on the surface, it seems so nice. We're talking about the people pleaser.
So here's the paradox. Constantly trying to make everyone happy doesn't earn you respect. It actually erodes it. Why? Because it sends a clear signal that you don't really have your own strong beliefs, or that you don't have the personal boundaries to stand up for them. You're seen as agreeable, sure, but not as authentic.
Think about it like this. If you say yes to everything and agree with everyone, your yes has no value. It becomes meaningless. Real respect is built on authenticity. It's built on people trusting that when you agree, it's because you actually believe it, not just because you're trying to keep the peace. Without that, your opinion just carries no weight.
Okay, so we've identified the big three problems, right? The know-it-all, the complainer, and the people pleaser. So where do we go from here? What's the path forward? Well, it all comes down to making a conscious choice to shift your mindset. This chart says it all, doesn't it? We often think our status is what earns us respect, but look, it's a tiny piece of the pie. The real heavy lifting, like almost all of it, is done by your attitude. Your everyday actions, your reactions, that's what really defines how people see you. So here are the simple shifts that make all the difference. Instead of being a dismissive know-it-all, be curious. Genuinely ask questions. Instead of being a critical complainer, be constructive. Focus on solutions. And instead of being an agreeable people pleaser, be authentic. Have your own perspective and stand by it, respectfully.
And that brings us to the final and maybe most important question. Just look at those three attitudes one more time. The know-it-all, the complainer, the people pleaser. Be really honest with yourself for a second. Which one of these might be holding you back from getting the respect you actually deserve? Because answering that question, that's the first step on a whole new path.